guess someone dropped the ball. 'Cause look where you have gone. You had everything, fucking everything. You don't know. You had everything, threw it all away. You don't know. You got everything that you need, everything that you need. Hold on, hold on. You've got everything that you need, everything that you need. Hold on, hold on. You've got everything that you need, everything that you need. Hold on, hold on. You've got everything that you need, everything that you need. Hold on, hold on. Feel like you were unaware of all the things you ever squandered. Feel like you could live a dream, but you just failed to see it. There is always another day. For you there's another round. No day is ever too late. There's always a way out. You got everything that you need, everything that you need. Hold on, hold on. You've got everything that you need, everything that you need. Hold on, hold on. You've got everything that you need, everything that you need. Hold on, hold on. You've got everything that you need, everything that you need. Hold on, hold on. You've got everything that you
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Press Pass Live, our first ever multi-stream. That's right, we're going live on Twitch, going live on YouTube, trying some things out. There's going to be a little bit of a learning curve, but I'm going to say this real light because the wife hasn't fully agreed to it, but she's sort of agreeing to it, that I can have a new computer, and that's going to open up a lot of cool possibilities. And we'll go Kick, and we'll go Twitch, and we'll go YouTube. It'll be awesome. I can't wait. Hopefully people enjoy this because I know not everybody's a YouTuber. Not everybody has YouTube app, even though you should get it because I think it finally will take over one day all of our lives. But you also have Twitch, and for those of you who really like Kick, I see that there's tons of talk going on about Meek and the 49ers. They were up. They weren't up a lot when I was watching it, and then I had to take it down as I got ready for us to get over here. Speaking of us, who is the us? It's not my buddy Trey. He's over here in the chat. Instead, it's my buddy Mr. Maniac. Maniac, how you doing today, bud?
Hola. How's everybody doing? I'm doing well. I had a somewhat of a crazy day, but excited to be able to have the opportunity to be on Press Pass Live with you, and always enjoy hearing Trey give his insights and stuff. But definitely, I always love to talk. Sometimes a little bit too much, but definitely love doing this stuff. So,
well, let's jump right into it because I do have church tonight, and this is like 3 hours later than what it normally is. So let's see if we can get through this really quick. I'm going to do a quick recap of week number 2, and man, we had some really, really good games. Rams 28, the Buffalo Bills 31. I think I remember hearing the chat about this one and how the Rams were starting to get some things figured out. I know the Rams maybe go bust just a couple of weeks later. I'm not 100% sure this wasn't a CPU game, but I think it was played, but that was a really good game by the Rams. But the Buffalo Bills are proving once again they're a problem to be reckoned with. The Seattle Seahawks, man, we've already talked about them a ton, but they win against the New York Jets. That's right, the same Jets. They were in OMFL Bowl number 106. I'm having to say that much slower because it sounds like I'm the blah, 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 blah whenever I say it really fast. So the Seahawks win 24-17. There was 31 points scored in the second quarter. Only 7 points scored in the second half of that game. I know builds never has any kind of CPU games, but you never know around here. That was a really great game from the Seattle Seahawks and has set them up to make a bunch of upsets, including the one that he just got a while ago. The Cleveland Browns won 34-31 against the Pittsburgh Steelers. We're going to be questioning the Steelers here in just a little bit. The Washington Commanders with a 39-31 victory over the Philadelphia Eagles, who he had to play again this week. I have a similar schedule. I just played the Panthers 2 weeks ago. Now I'm playing them again tonight. It has been craziness. The Las Vegas Raiders beat your Atlanta Falcons. We're going to talk about your Falcons 34-31 in a really good game. And then somehow my Saints come away with a 33-30 win against the Chargers. Cincinnati Bengals win against Baltimore 27-24. And then finally, what was a classic game here, Cowboys beating the Buccaneers 38-35. You would have swore, though, Kevin lost by 45 the way that he was talking. But that is a look at your week 2. Maniac, take us away for week number 3, buddy.
All right, week number 3 was equally as exciting as week 2. We had the Patriots-Jaguars. This game looked like it had some troubles with the connection. It was played 3 times, but we had a 36-26 win by the Patriots. The Buccaneers versus the Giants, Kevin versus Colin. This game was a 31-17 win by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Lions, Bill was hosting Trey here with the Bills. This was a close game, 30-24 win, though, by the Lions there. Bill, though, showing that he is part of the top guys here in the OMFL. The Jets at the Texans, Kobe and Roger. Yeah, I just went blank there for 38-24, though. Roger has kind of picked up and playing well as of late and getting close games there. Broncos at Ravens. I think this was the game right before Nipple left out for his cruise, but he He
Cruz.
launches out. Yeah, Cruz. He launched out with a 41 to 14 victory. So he was already pre-celebrating his cruise. The Bengals at the Browns. The Bengals, what a offensive display! 47 to 12 over the Cleveland Browns. That was the Buddy Bowl there between Denver and Little Koch. The Commanders at the Titans. Washington got the win here, 30 to 10 over the Tennessee Titans. That looked like the Commanders there just kind of took over that game. Packers at the Rams, the LA Rams. Again, he said maybe he's kind of found a groove. This one was a 31 to 16 win over the Packers and the Priests. The Falcons at the Chargers. Sad to say that this was a simulation game. San Diego did win that simulation game 24 to 17. What's going on with my Falcons? And the Dragons, the Omaha Dragons, were at the 49ers. And D Money versus Big Hurt here, 34 to 17 win by D Money. The Dolphins at the Raiders. Surprising game of the week. The Las Vegas Raiders won this game 30 to 24. There was a lot of offensive power in this game, especially in the second half. The Eagles at the Cardinals. This game had no defense whatsoever. The Cardinals win this game 48 to 38. That was a lot of points scored in that game. And then we have the Vikings at the Seahawks. Bill in New York taking over the Vikings versus Meek Boy and the Seahawks. And he kind of strutted his stuff here and got the 38 to 9 victory over the newcomer in the OMFL. The Cowboys played the Steelers. No, this was an actual simulation. I see the 0 there for the play. So it was a 37 to 15 win for the Cowboys in the simulation game. Chiefs at Condors. Kansas City couldn't quite get this one in, so they lost 31 to 28 to the Orlando Condors. And then the last but not least, Saints at the Panthers. And this game was a tight one all the way down to the end, but it was a win for Black Cats here, 24 to 17 over Nate and the Saints.
That's a look at week number 3. Let's take a quick look at week number 4. Dallas with a 36 to 13 dominating win over the Commanders. We've seen Dallas be pretty dominant here early in this season. I don't know if this one was played or not because I'm a little foggy on when he left for his cruise, but Nipples with a 38 to 24 victory over the New England Patriots, who've yet to kind of find that groove. But man, they did score 14 points in the fourth quarter, so hopefully something that they can build on. My Saints come away with a 20 to 10 victory in a rainy, windy, soggy New York Life Stadium. It was crazy back and forth game. Was able to get away with this one late in that one. The Jacksonville Jaguars fall to the Green Bay Packers 29 to 31. There was 37 points scored in the fourth quarter. There was 28 points scored in the second half. A defensive game that went into halftime, Maniac, 6-3. Finished 31 to 29. What a crazy game there in that one. We've got Buffalo with a 1-point victory over the Tennessee Titans, 20 to 19. It ended up being a field goal in the second quarter that actually ended up being the winning score there for the Buffalo Bills. New York Jets 40, the Orlando Condors 36, and a great game between Kobe and Mr. Bronco, man. Tampa Bay Buccaneers with a 31 to 24 victory over the Chargers. I'd watch this one. Tampa Bay just kind of makes their way and flexes their muscles late in games that they need, and that one ended up being a good one. This is the one that made me go bust. Seattle Seahawks with a 20 to 14 victory over the LA Rams. And you got to give it to Tim. He is fighting hard in this game this season. It's not coming out in victories, but he's doing his very, very best in that one. And then the last game that I was going to cover is the Detroit Lions with a 38 to 31, making a statement against Mr. D Money and the 49ers. And we've seen both the 49ers and the Jets lose massive games this early in the season. Crazy game. It looks like Detroit started out hot. 49ers got them under control. Detroit continued to play great defense, and the fourth quarter was an explosion for both of these teams with 28 points scored in the fourth quarter. But tip of the cap to Mr. Trey and his Detroit Lions. And I'm so glad he's not here to brag about it. We never hear the end of it. We get stuck right here on this segment. Looking forward, we are in the middle of week number 5, but as we look at 5, 6, and 7, Maniac, what are we watching for?
We're at this point of the season. You're looking to see the teams that are solidifying their positions in their division to start making their case for the division crown. This is where they can make their final moves to solidify the roster for the playoff push before the deadline. Get a trade in or whatever. But looking at some of these matchups, I mean, there's some matchups that could be potential OMFL Bowl matchups here in Week 5. One off the bat is the Cowboys at the Condors. Both teams are been pretty successful so far this season, and you've got a 33-28 victory. The Cowboys got that win, but looked like a tough game there. And then looking at just kind of stepping out here, looking at a couple of teams. We'll talk about the Lions. Trey, your team is hot right now. You are on fire. Your quarterback, I was watching Hooker, and man, he was throwing darts out there the last game that I'd watched. And so, but you're doing it on the ground, you're doing it through the air, you're doing it on defense. So, and then the other team I'm just looking at right now, the Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals are really getting it done with a solid rushing game. He's got the running back. He traded away Mixon to the Omaha Dragons, but he's got this import McGee, and he is just toting the rock. Each game he's getting 100 yards rushing, it seems like. This game he didn't have 100 yards, he had 65, but he's just been so efficient with the rushing game. It opens up the passing game with Jamar Chase, and he seems to be his favorite target. And in this game he had 7 catches, 125 yards, and 2 touchdowns. Just absolutely phenomenal work there by Denbrew. And then the other team that I think is kind of making a statement too is the Miami Dolphins. They kind of started out, got a couple of losses, but they've solidified their defense, especially in their defensive backfield, trading with the Falcons with A.J. Terrell. He seems to have fit in nicely with his defense, and man, there's just there's so many good players in this league, and definitely it shows each week in and out in the OMFL that you never know what could happen. The winless team could get a win versus the unbeaten team. It's just something that makes the OMFL a great place to be and play.
Yep, I agree with you. I'm trying to move my chat around here so I can see everything I need to be seeing over here. We're going to get it situated. Let me take a quick look at week number 6. There's a couple of really good games coming up. I'm interested to see what happens between the Green Bay Packers and the Minnesota Vikings. This is going to be what potentially is a brand new rivalry, one that we haven't really seen a whole lot of. Between two teams are going to be getting used to one another, and I think that could be a really good game between those two. Hopefully this chat comes right back, y'all. I know that it cleared itself, but I'm hoping it comes right back. Learning some new things with this multi-stream thing. I think that's going to be a great game between two really, really good teams. Ravens and Browns would have been a really fun one to watch, but of course we know Nipples is going Bills versus Jets. Kobe has yet to kind of find his footing, new quarterback, new system. I'm interested to see what decisions he's making. Bill continues to be Mr. Consistent, and I'm just pulling for him to finally get over that hump, make his way all the way to an OMFL Bowl. He's like right there on the cusp. You got the Cowboys and the Commanders. This should be another really good game. Cowboys have been flexing their muscles, but we've seen Bird, you and I got to call the Deuce Bowl number 26, 28?
28.
28. and he won OMFL Bowl, Deuce Bowl, number 28, with his Panthers. He's been playing really great football, had a great comeback the other night, comes back and then gets a big victory over the Eagles. This could be a really entertaining game. Falcons and Panthers, I don't care the records, throw them out the windows. Anytime any NFC South teams meet up, it's going to be a really, really good game. Should be a fun one to be able to watch. Chiefs and Steelers should be a really good one. Steelers have been struggling, but man, I'm waiting any second for them to turn it on, flip the switch, and be able to play some really good football. That should be a really, really fun one. Last one, week number 7. What are we looking forward to in week number 7?
All right, so there's matchups here in week 7. There's actually going to be some pretty pivotal matchups, I think. One, you've got right off the bat the Cowboys and Eagles. The Eagles roster, I know he's struggling right now, but the roster is so full of talent, and if something clicks one game, watch out, because he could definitely make a run. This may not be the week. The Cowboys and Dwayne, they're buzzsaw. Dwayne knows what he's doing, but I look forward to seeing this matchup, just because it's an NFC East matchup. And then, but I've got a couple of games though. The Steelers versus the Bucks. And I'm calling this the could have been Bowl 106, because the Buccaneers and the Steelers were both on the cusp of getting into Bowl 106, and so this matchup's going to be interesting. I know the Steelers right now, things are not clicking. Buccaneers on the opposite side of that, things are clicking, but both guys are tremendous coaches and should be fun to watch. And the next one I was looking at here is a big matchup, and this could be possibly big implications further down the road for playoff seeding. Lions versus the Seahawks. Both teams coming in this game red hot. Both have red hot offenses. Both play very good defense, and something's going to have to give here. But this game is going to be, this should be like the game of the week, I think. In my book, it should be the game of the week. That would probably be a fun one to call as well. But and then you've got one. I just happened to see this one.
Before you move past this one, I think it may be also a terrible one to call, because both of those guys like to talk on mic, and yeah, that would we're just going to compare both of them, what they say about each other as we go on that one.
Yeah. I always give Meek Boy kind of some beef about, like, put some respect on my name after that one game he played D Money, and he beat D Money. He put some respect on my name. He got some respect, that's for sure, because there's not a whole lot of people that take and beat D Money. The other game, just to move on, and the Dolphins at the 49ers. I know the 49ers have kind of slipped a couple games, but this could be a matchup here for Massimo to kind of look at how he's matching up with, obviously D-Money has been the king around here for a long time, and he is also the defending champion. So this could be kind of a measuring stick for the Dolphins here, and so this will be another game to keep an eye on, and I think it would be a fun one to watch and call as well. But I don't think there's any game that would not be good to call or watch in the OMFL. But these games specifically, though, keep an eye out for them, because they could be again with the Dolphins 49ers. The Dolphins kind of the measuring stick, see where they're at. Lions Seahawks. It could be a battle to see who's going to be the number one seed in the NFC, and then the Steelers and the Bucks. Like I said, two teams right now and going two different directions, but both coaches just know how to play and call a great game.
I agree with you completely. Before we move on to Overreaction Monday, the wife's already poked her head and she's like, "What are you doing? We've got church." I was like, I get it. We're coming. Let's turn it over to Mr. Denbrew for some OMFL news. Den, take it away.
Welcome. The OMFL news is back. I am Denbrew. This is season 107, and we are in week number 5. Before we get into it, I wanted to welcome our new Minnesota Vikings owner, Bill in New York. Welcome, my guy. I haven't had a chance to talk to you, but I'm sure I will in the near future. And Deep in Gap, if you happen to be listening, buddy, you're always missed. Love to see you back very soon when life allows it. But until then, you're going to hear this, and the game is already going to be over, but I did a little breakdown of one of the better matchups this week, and that is Dallas traveling to Orlando. So D-Wayne matching up against our guy, Bronco Man, Reluctant Pancake, whatever he's going by these days. I got some cool stuff. I'm going to break it down. I'll see you in segment number 2. Back to Nate, back to Trey.
Oh, there it goes. Jeez, my computer just had a complete meltdown. I had muted me and Maniac so that we could go ahead and let my guy go ahead and talk, and it would not let me unmute neither one of us, Mr. Maniac. But there is no Trey, but Denver didn't know that. Trey accidentally forgot his headphones, so he couldn't talk on this one. Let's go ahead and get to Overreaction Monday. I'm going to share one. We can talk about it for a second. Then you share one. My computer is fully flipping out right now. Hopefully the experience isn't too bad on y'all's end. I have no clue why it's having a problem, but it's having a little bit of a problem right now. We'll see. This is why I got to have another computer. This one is... okay, I've ranted enough about Overreaction Monday. I'll share an overreaction. We'll talk about it if you have anything to talk about, and then you'll share a reaction. I'll talk about it, and then we'll just keep going back and forth. Here is number 1. My Overreaction Monday are that the Carolina Panthers are going to win the NFC South. They're sitting at 3-1 right now. I was trying to bring this up really quick. They're sitting at 3-1, 123 points scored, 106 allowed. That is going to be almost like just barely above my Saints and barely above my Buccaneers, who've played one extra game than he has. And he scored 123 points, which puts him second, but that's still with the Buccaneers having one extra game. I like what Carolina has done. He's figured some things out on defense. He plays tremendously, really great defense. He's got that quarterback rocking and rolling. He's got the running back situations. That offensive line is really good, way better than I expected them to be. The Carolina Panthers on Overreaction Monday win the NFC South.
No. I do like that. I don't know. Is this what I'm supposed to do? React to this?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Okay. I didn't want to get out of the line or anything.
No. It's Reaction Monday.
So no, it's not going to happen. The Bucks, man, they've got. They will push them. It's definitely going to be. I feel like it's definitely going to be a 2-horse race going into the stretch of the season. But the Bucks, man, they've got so much going on defense, man. Their defense is so stout right now. I do think the Panthers though are right on the cusp of getting, like you said, things figured out. But Buccaneers, Kev, unless something falls, the wheels fall off, he gets some injuries. If I'm not trying to jinx Godwin, but if something happens and he gets injured, then we could see the wheels fall off. But and if he gets injured next game, Kev's going to come looking for me. I know that. So
find me.
But
good luck coming from Florida to the middle of nowhere, West Texas. So give me your Overreaction Monday. You got a good one.
All right. So Overreaction Monday. The Jets will have a losing record at the end of season 107.
I I don't know if it'll be losing, but it's going to be close. Look, he's got a brand new quarterback. It's got to affect the offense. It's got to affect the flow. I watched him. I did not get to watch a ton of his OMFL games, but of course, Kobe was in the Deuce Bowl 28. I plus got to call OMFL Bowl 106, pretty close to each other, like 10 days apart. And what Aaron Rodgers is able to do and the throws that he's able to make and just like the pinpoint accuracy and the tight windows goes a long way in the way that the Jets can attack you. And he doesn't have that now. And I'm just questioning how long before he goes back to Rodgers, or he's going to stay committed. And I think if he stays committed, we might see the Jets get closer right on kind of that 500 record. And maybe it ends up being a losing record as well. They're saying no chance. Denver says there's no chance that that's happening.
Hey, look, he's given up 132 points already in 4 games. Like, his defense is not playing either. Yeah. And his quarterback has been underperforming so horribly. So well, I'm calling it.
He's right there on it right now. This is why it's Overreaction Monday. Here's my Overreaction Monday. The Raiders are back. That's right. The black and silver are back to being the bad boys of the OMFL. We've seen the Raiders go on runs before. He's got his quarterback. Now, the kid's not playing spectacular, but he's playing good enough to lead to a 3-1 record. 2 of those wins were on the road, and that's going to go a long way. He scored 118 points. He's only giving up 102. I think he's gaining some momentum. He's gaining some confidence. The Raiders are back on Overreaction Monday.
I'm kind of slow that ship with you. He's on a 3-game winning streak. He lost his home opener, but he's strung together 3 straight. He's put up a lot of points, but the only thing is he's not putting up a whole lot of more points than what he's given up. Even though he's only given up 102, but he's only scored 118. I don't know. I want to jump on the ship, but man, I'm keeping the rowboat close because I'm dipping. I'm dipping as soon as I see ship, but I'm jumping on ship with you, and I think the reaction is true. I think he's back.
Denver says that he thinks Kobe's going to get it figured out, and then guess who we heard from in the chat? Mr. Kobe himself. A little fuel to the fire, he said, and we'll just see. I think it's got more to do with the quarterback than it does with him. Your next one might cause some serious waves, though. Give me your Overreaction Monday.
My overreaction. The Steelers go winless season 107. Could it be? It's possible. It's possible. And so that's my overreaction. Go ahead. Bring it on. Let me hear it.
Listen, the kid's only scored 78 points for a guy that took a roster I think no one could have won with and got a championship with them. I don't know what has happened over here. I see the chats. I see everyone blaming the updates. I don't believe it. I think it's all a big pile of horse poo-poo. But you're scoring 78 points and giving up 138. That's going to put, let's just look. That's going to put you 3rd worst in the AFC on offense, 4th worst in the AFC on defense. I can't buy that some way, somehow, an update has completely devastated both your offense and your defense. So Trey says he's getting off the schneid this week with a CPU game. I will say if he does get a CPU game, that doesn't get him off the schneid. When we say winless, we're not giving him a freebie of a CPU game. He's got to get a win against an owner. I don't see it happening. Not in the OMFL. Not a champion. If he goes winless, I'm just letting y'all know right now, Nate's calling tanking, and there will be some kind of intervention being done. We're going to have to go and pull out the Bill Belichick ideas of snooping around to find out, because I don't believe that guy could go winless with the worst team in the entire league. I think he gets a win. Making the playoffs, though, it's going to be a bit of another question. Boy, they're talking in the chat about it. I think that one got him. And if they think
got him woken up.
I think if that one got him, I might also as well. San Francisco 49ers on the last hot take, overreacting Monday. Maniac, they don't make the playoffs. He's got a 2-game losing streak. He's allowed 120 points. He just lost to the Seattle Seahawks in pretty dominating fashion when you think about D-Money and his losses. He has scored 150 points, but man, there's a lot of other really good offenses over here in the NFC. One of those losses were on the road. The other one was at home, and so that's going to go a long way. He is sitting at 3-2, but he's starting to dig himself a bit of a hole. And on my overreaction Monday, he does not make the playoffs.
There is a number I see on this game on the standings next to D-Money's team name that I have never seen. D-Money is actually packing it in, taking vacation. There's a -2 there, a -2 on the streak of games. I've never seen it in games that he's played. So I'm kind of questioning: is he trying vacation? Is he trying to miss the playoffs? I don't know. But there's one thing for sure. Like I said, I've never seen a -2 on a D-Money name that he's actually been around and playing a game. Now I've seen it before when it's been a CPU simulation or whatever, but never have I seen him lose back-to-back games. So I don't think it's an overreaction. I think it's actually true. I think he's going to miss the playoffs unless he wakes up and stops sipping pina coladas and sitting in the beach chair on the
maybe he's
on
too
the back
busy
of the.
polishing his trophy over there.
That could be true. He could be spit shining that thing up really good, and or unless he's taking a cruise with a nipple.
He might be building a new add-on for all the trophies that he has over there in his house. Well, let's close it out with one last overreaction Monday, and this one gets a little personal.
Oh, it's personal. It definitely is personal, and so far, we've seen the Falcons actually make a move that would kind of probably make a lot of guys scratch their head. But I'm lumping two teams together here. So the Patriots and the Falcons blowing up teams in the offseason. I see it. I see it coming. I don't know. There's just sometimes there's feelings, with teams, and you got guys that feel like, well, they invested in a team, they invested in the players, and all of a sudden the wheels start falling off, and you start seeing the exodus come the next off season. I see it. I think the Patriots and the Falcons are going to be having a garage sale with signs half price on aisle 7.
Two of my favorite human beings in this league. I feel like I'm in the same boat as Lost. I can't quite figure out why his team struggles. This is a coach that knows how to build a team. I don't know if it goes back to the quarterback issue, if it's just not a good enough quarterback, and yet he's stubborn and he's sticking to it and he's trying his very best to make it work. We've seen him go all in for the veterans and free agency and spend money and bring in the aging player because they may develop slower, but they also what's the word I'm looking for, man? It's been a long Monday. But they lose their attributes a little bit slower.
Yeah, there you go.
That's not what I was looking for, but I'm sure the chat will start screaming it at me here in a second. I just don't know what it is that's keeping the Patriots. Low-scoring offense, giving up way too many points on defense. Sometimes a Madden just isn't for you. I know I felt like that way and still feel that way. I just can't quite get it. A regression. Thank you, Kevin. Geez, it's been a long Monday. And with your Falcons, I just think it's a bad season. And I know that you moved the cornerback, but I'm hearing these rumors and these rumblings that you're going to move the quarterback. I'm like, he gave up so much to get him. Why would you do that? The guy's the number 2 quarterback in the entire league. And if you do it, send him down to New Orleans. I'll give you a lefty. I'll whatever. Like, I think you should not blow it up. You should stick the course. We all have bad seasons. Some of us have 2 or 3 bad seasons in a row. You're going to figure it out. And before the season's over, you're going to turn things around. That quarterback's too good. That offense is too good. Too many big players on defense. And I know that has felt like your struggle, but you're still middle of the pack in defense, which still gives you an opportunity to figure it out. You're middle of the pack offense. So you're right there, just not getting some of these early season breaks. And I do think that you're going to get that figured out, and you'll get things, turned around pretty quickly. So that's my take on it. We'll see how it all breaks out. But chat, there you have it. Overreaction Monday is in full force. All right, let's get over here and bring in Denbrew for the OMFL News number 2. Denbrew, take it away.
Welcome back. Segment number 2 of the OMFL News. Like I said in the first segment, taking a look at Dallas at Orlando, and let's give it a little bit of a breakdown. Yards per game, offensive yards per game. It's a dead heat. Dallas is at 342, Orlando's at 338. Another dead heat is the passing yards. Only 4 yards separate these two teams. Rushing yards per game, another dead heat. Dallas is averaging 154 on the ground. That's near the top. The Condors right there with him at 153, okay? Rushing touchdowns. The Cowboys have been in the end zone via rushing 10 times. The Condors 8. Third down percentage. We got a little bit of a indicator here. Dallas is hitting at 48% on their third downs, converting those, where the Condors at 58%. This one here jumps out to me. Points per game. Dallas is averaging 44 points per game. The Condors averaging 30. So a little bit of a indicator there. So we got a 14-point spread there as far as the offenses go. We start looking at the defense, and it gets a little funky. Dallas has given up 356 yards, total yards per game, versus the Condors at 270. So quite a bit of a difference there. Passing yards per game, Dallas is at 248. The Condors are holding people to less than 100 or 200 yards passing per game. That's impressive. Dallas pretty stingy on defense, just a little over 100 yards, where the Condors not even allowing you to get more than 100 on them. They're averaging only giving up 80 yards per game. Neither team are really lighting it up sack-wise. Dallas has got 5, Condors have got 6. So I said earlier, the offense for Dallas is scoring 44 and the Condors 30. That's a 14-point spread. The defenses, on the other hand, we got Dallas giving up 33 points per game, and the Condors only giving up 21, a 12-point spread. This is shaping up to be a good one, guys. A real good one. Back to Nate, back to Trey. See you for segment number 3.
And it was a good one. 33-28, a really great one. It is almost 6 o'clock. Church starts at 6:30. I got to wrap this up. I'm in trouble. We got to get out of here really quick. So I'm not going to be able to cover every mailbag question. I promise to get them on the next week, though. I'll cover the ones that won't last till next week. So, Bill, I'm going to hold on to yours. Kobe, I'm going to hold on to your quarterback question because I can answer those anytime. I want to go through some of these other ones. Actually, Kobe, I'm going to hold on to your second one too because I think that it could be a really good one that we could look at a little bit later. I got to pick and choose a few of these for this week, but I promise we'll get to all of these later on. Kevin, with the Jets at 2-2 and the Steelers 0-4, do we see some new faces in the playoffs, or do you think that they will get it turned around? We touched a little bit on that, but do you think either of these teams make the playoffs, or does that open the door for a Raiders or a Chargers or some of these other teams to make a run?
I definitely think it opens the door for some of the other teams, especially if things kind of continue with the trend that's going on. You see some of these other teams kind of getting hot, and which, I mean, you've seen in other situations, anytime in the season, a team can get hot and make a run. But, sometimes starting out slow and then the teeth of your schedule kicks in and some of the big the big dogs that you haven't maybe played the first part of the season, you're already in the hole. It can just kind of snowball on you. And and I think that maybe the case with these two teams. And I definitely see some new blood in the playoffs come the end of the season.
I think it's early, but I definitely think it opens up the door. We're going to see that happen over the next two Press Pass Lives, which is about 5-6 advances or whatever it may be. I think we're going to find out, do these teams start to turn it around and we see some new faces, or is it the same old guys getting it figured out? Kobe with a really great question here. This one could have waited as well, but I want to make all of Kobe's questions wait. How important is it for team scheme versus team overall rating? Can you succeed without one, or does a coach need both? Man, it's a great question. I would say, for me, it's scheme fit. Overall rating, I think, is skewed. It shows kind of the overall, all 53. And I just think even with ratings, all 53 is never going to fully matter. It's kind of the top 35, top 30, maybe top 25 for some of these teams. And if they're really, really good, can avoid some major run on injuries, you'll be fine. So I think it is team scheme more than team rating, and I don't think you need both of them. I think the Colts a couple of seasons ago proved us wrong on that, and I think it just really is the fit for your team.
Yeah, I actually agree with you on that one too. Team scheme is very important, and like you said, we've seen guys over and over. Cincy has been one of them. Z-Money, another one. They just get good athletic players that kind of fit their scheme, and they can be a 67, 70 overall, whatever. They can make them play, like an 80 overall guy. And so I definitely agree with you there. Team scheme trumps the team's overall ratings.
Kevin says, with most games played in Week 5, any surprise teams or rookies so far this season? I think the Panthers I've touched on. I think they've been a nice surprise. The Ravens were a surprise, but with him being gone, I think we're going to see that go away. The Raiders have been a really good surprise. I put the 49ers in there as a surprise. He's lost some big games. I put the Steelers in there as a surprise. Maybe even the Chiefs, they're sitting at 2-2 as a little bit of a surprise. Any rookie? You got to talk about Trey's running back. I mean, he's just playing superb right now. We've seen a couple of rookies kind of pop off. Any surprises for you?
Big surprise, and this is player-wise. I was surprised to see the Browns kind of go away from the quarterback that they invested in last season, and then but their rookie is playing pretty decent. I think it's Dry Stick. I don't know if that's how you say his name, but he's got 8 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, and he's got almost 1,200 yards passing. So that's a pretty good stats there for a rookie. And then, but I also think you see two teams that have had some success so far with rookies at the quarterback. You have to look at the Raiders. Sherrod has made a huge difference for the Raiders, I think, this season. One of the reasons why they've had that 3-game win streak. And then staying in the same division, the Broncos also have a rookie quarterback in Quaker, and he's helped kind of improve that team as well. Both guys approaching the 1,000-yard passing mark, and so those are big-time rookies that have made an impact.
I'm going to cover birds. Actually, we're going to cover Kevin's 2 bird questions, Joker and Trey. So it's a lot of questions to run through in just a couple minutes. And I really got to go. Kevin says, with Lions, Seahawks, Cowboys, and Bengals all undefeated, do you see one of them going undefeated all season? My gut says no. It's just so hard to go undefeated. If anyone, Cowboys, Bengals, I could see the line. I guess I could see either of these teams doing it. I just don't think their schedules are going to allow them to do it, and I think everybody stubs their toe sooner or later. What do you think?
Yeah, I wish I would have been able to look at this a little deeper. I think if you look at the overall division strength, I think the Lions are in the weaker division right now, and so I think that would give them the chance to possibly even have the better chance of having the undefeated season. Cowboys pretty strong division. I know they've got some bad records in there, but the coaches are always seem like in that division are always tough. Bengals, tough division. Seahawks, again, D-Money in the division is tough. So I would have to say the Lions would be the best fit to have an undefeated season, but I don't see it happening either.
Let's get over to Denver's last OMFL news. When we come back, we'll take 2 birds, 1 joker, 1 Trey, and then I really got to get out of here. Okay, take it off, Denver.
Third and final segment of your OMFL news. I've got more numbers for you guys. I'm sorry. If you can't tell, I like numbers. And this time we're going to go take a look at the quarterbacks. We got the newly acquired Justin Fields in Dallas. 63 of 90 on the year, 70%, 851 yards. Anthony Richardson of Orlando. He's 60 of 96 for 62% for 780 yards. Fields on his touchdowns to interception ratio, 7 touchdowns, only 2 interceptions. Really nice. Anthony Richardson, 8 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. In this league, not too bad, right? Both of them like to run it a little bit with their quarterbacks. Fields has got 13 carries for 78 yards and 1 touchdown, and Richardson's carried it 15 times for 91 yards and 2 touchdowns. All the stats I've given you, it's very, very close. I think it's prediction time. This is Sunday night. They're playing Monday at 1. By the time you hear this, they've already played, but I'm going to go ahead and give you my prediction. I'm going to go with a 34-31. Dallas goes on the road, barely beats it, barely gets the win, but I'm going to give him the edge on this one. Justin Fields over Anthony Richardson. Dallas wins it. Nothing personal. That's just what I'm saying. And I hope you like the hokey music I've been playing on the news. I'm out. Back to Nate. Back to Trey.
Mr. Denver breaking it down. He wasn't too far off on that prediction. I'm going to combine Bird's question with Joker's question because they're both asking. I'm going to give you both credit, but they're asking it kind of different ways, but same things. Since it was brought up in chat today, Bird says, what are your thoughts on screens and RPOs near the goal line? Has it already been discussed amongst the board? And the Joker said, we talked about trying not to take advantage of the AI, like running backwards. The RPOs and wide receiver screens are doing this. Thoughts? Let me answer Bird's second question last. No, the board has not discussed it. I brought it up for maybe a emergency discussion. It's sort of split. I expect the decision to be even more split. I'd expect nothing to change for this season. To answer both the questions, number one, I don't think they either take advantage of the AI at all. I think this goes into team building. I have not seen anything with either of those plays that are super tricky. If there is any kind of debate, it's maybe some of the RPOs, possibly. I would say screens at the goal line, they're so hit and miss of whether they work. Wide receivers work better than the halfback screens, but it's such a condensed area. I think if someone is, crazy enough to try to run one, then that's the whole point of opening up the playbooks, is to allow that flexibility, that chance. And it makes you now think, what weapons does he have? What's he going to call? You can't just stack the box and send everybody, which is sort of the whole point. And so I don't believe that it's breaking AI. I don't believe it's an issue at the goal line. And if there is any issue, it would be maybe an RPO discussion, because maybe there are some RPO plays that are a bit broken, a little overpowered. It's supposed to put a strain on your defense. It's supposed to burn you if you go zone in a small area. And if you don't have the right players and playing man, then it can go in the wrong way for you. But I think that for me personally, it's more of a discussion around RPOs than it is any kind of screens. How do you feel about this?
Yeah, I'm kind of split too myself. I see points from both sides. Personally, I look at it though. Whenever I call it an RPO, like inside the red zone or inside 5, or most of the time it's to either. You're seeing the defense either stacking the box. If you go like a goal line with one wide receiver tight set, they're most of the time the defense is either like a goal line stand type defense, and they're gonna break through everything. A lot of times, even before the quarterback gets into his automated drop back before he can even get the ball off. And so, like a lot of times, you see guys run these RPOs and in that position, it forces the defense to run something besides just a goal line type defense that seems to get in through certain formations really well. And so, again, though, it's supposed to create a chess match. So, I've had success against RPOs down there. I've picked them off a couple of times, running back for a touchdown. You just gotta pick your moment and pick your time and pick your player that you're going to use her. And but I don't see it as completely overpowered. But again, I can see points from both sides. But personally, I'm kind of leaning towards like, hey, it's just part of the game, and you got to adjust.
Same can be said about the zigzag route on third down, which drives me insane. And it drove me even more insane when I jumped that route against the Giants and he dropped it. Bird says, with coach decisions to guess pass allowed this season, do you feel like it's helped defense get increased pressure for the quarterback? This was something that you asked us to take a look at. I don't know how I still don't love it. You know how I feel. You and I have had discussions about it, but I will equally, I'll be fair. I don't know that I've seen some crazy insta sheds all the time. So I don't know what you're seeing, but do you feel like it's helped either way? I feel like it's sort of a mute point, sort of like abilities. Like, sure, it may help from time to time, but it's not this super overpowering thing. And before some people have argued, I don't understand why we don't allow guest rush. It's because guest rush sends literally everyone at the line of scrimmage. It's just not a real play. It's like you can have engage 8 if that's what you want to do. Anyway, have you noticed any increased pressure?
I've noticed my guys getting in a little bit more on certain plays, but I will say, watch the game of Kevin and I last night on his long touchdown run that he had with his running back. I actually guessed pass on that play and I got burnt hardcore. He burnt me for like a 60-something yard touchdown run. So again, it's part of the chess match. And I know, like Madden, anything seems like sometimes can be a gimmicky. I wish it wasn't. I wish it was all physics based stuff, and we didn't have stuff that would cause problems. But again, I got burnt by it, So my own suggestion actually kind of hurt me in that game. So I'm kind of sad about it, but no, it's just that's just the way it is sometimes. And again, like looking at it, it did its job. My guys all went for the pass. All my DBs turned their backs, and he just ran the rock and went 60, 70 yards on me.
We got to run through this last one pretty quickly because I literally already have people showing up. Trey says, which team from each conference do you look at and go, that's not what I expected based on how they did in season 106? AFC North, Steelers are going to jump out to me. I'm not going to cover all these. A lot of these we've already kind of talked about. Jaguars sitting at 0-4. I know they haven't put all the pieces together. I expected them to be a bit better than that. Patriots at 1-4. Maybe not because of what they did last season, but just overall the moves that he made. And then the AFC West, the Chiefs, the Raiders. Both looking at both of those teams, Raiders at 3-1, Chiefs at 2-2. That may be where I expected. Anybody else in the AFC for you stick out?
I mean, you touched it there. Steelers 0-4. Wouldn't have saw that. I think the Titans actually, pushing the Condors. He's in second place right now, only a game out.
Good defense.
Yeah. I mean, he's not putting up a lot of points, but man, he's not giving up much either. So
lost both his games at home. Won both his games on the road.
That's interesting. You could always say the Jets being 2-2. I wouldn't have thought that. AFC West, Raiders first place. That's just, it was shocking to me, but he's definitely played good ball, and I was one of his wins.
Take the NFC. Who's surprising over the NFC?
Just going down the line, the Lions 5-0. Trey missed the playoffs, I believe, season 106, but he's right in the thick of things for the top seed in the NFC. The Vikings, we got a new owner. He's actually playing well for that team. But the big surprise in that division is the Dragons, 1-4, having struggles. South, I have to call myself out. Falcons, I did not expect to be at 1-4, struggling like I was, but that's just the way it happens sometimes. I got to kick myself in the butt and get things figured out, and hopefully try to turn it around. If not, start getting ready to build next season. The East, Eagles 0-5. He had a pretty decent showing last season, and he's kind of struggled tremendously on offense. Hasn't got the points put on like he did last season. But again, that's sometimes that's what happens. And then last but not least, the West. Seeing that the Seahawks are 2 games in first place over the 49ers. That's almost kind of scary. But this whole division actually looks pretty strong right now, with the Rams kind of coming in hot, and then the Cardinals, getting things figured out as well.
Yeah, Seahawks and Cardinals are 2 teams that are surprising me. 5-0 is impressive, especially with the tough schedule that he had. And the Cardinals, not maybe what they did last season, but how they started out this season. Sitting at 2-3, expected maybe them to go on a bit more of a run and really challenge here. Well, he's kind of taken a couple of steps back. Looking at the NFC East, the Giants and Eagles are going to be both of mine. The Giants did some craziness, got a bunch of picks, drafted a bunch of great players, went and got Prescott, but it's not showing itself after starting out 1-0. And I do expect him to get things figured out. I think he's pushing it a little too much towards Barkley, and if he spreads that out, it's really going to make him dangerous. The Eagles at 0-5, I don't know what's going on. I think he hates his quarterback. It's time to move him and go find somebody that you like. You'll play a whole lot better. Panthers at 3-1, that's surprising to me. They're putting the pieces together. And your Falcons at 1-4, you beat up on yourself enough. I'm not going to add to it. Lions at 5-0 aren't really surprising. Just the teams he's beat to get there have been a bit eye-opening. Like, good for you with the big win over the 49ers. Dragons and Packers are going to be my other 2 big surprises, both sitting at 1-4, both giving up a buttload of points. I know the Dragons have some real life stuff going on. I feel like Priest just doesn't care anymore. He's canned it. He just doesn't give a flip. And so I think that is what has led him. I got to go. I can't even do all my normal last words, but I want to give Maniac one final thought, and then I got to get up out of here. Maniac, give me one closing thought as we wrap it up.
Closing thought, great show. Thank you for all that you do for the league and for the community. Looking forward to seeing how season 107 unfolds. And I got one other thing to pick on Packers. What are you doing playing Gamer Saloon?
I don't even know what that is. What is that?
It's like a deal where they play Madden for money. I seen this stream pop up at night.
I did too. I didn't know what that meant, though. Yeah, I love Priest as a human, but he's really frustrated me this whole Madden. I've told him, he ignores my messages. I just feel like he doesn't care. And it's like, well, if you don't care, move out of the way. Like, I don't want you to leave, but move out of the way and let somebody else who does care come in. Like, I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I don't, and we'll just leave it at that. Guys, I promise some Neon Sports videos are coming. I gotta go. I'm really in trouble. I love you. Take care of yourself. Take care of those around you. I love you. We'll see you tonight as I play Panther Nation. So come give me some energy because I'm gonna need it. I gotta go. Bye.